Hi guys, so I'm going to post a video doing the problem that I gave you yesterday. In the post I said to use the information given to make sure that you can figure out which quadrant the angle lies, and that's going to determine whether the values are positive or negative. Okay, so given that the sine of an angle theta is 1/3, okay, positive 1/3, and cosine of the angle theta is less than 0, which means negative. So they're telling you that sine is positive and cosine is negative. Find the exact value of each of the remaining 5 trig functions, okay? So if you remember, I have my unit circle here. Remember when I told you about all students take calculus? All right, so in quadrant 1, everything, all the functions are positive, right? Because your x and your y's are positive. In quadrant 2, only sine is positive and everything else is negative. In quadrant 3, only tangent is positive, and in quadrant 4, only cosine is positive. So for this particular problem, it said that the sine was a positive 1/3 and the cosine was negative. So that tells you right there that it had to be in quadrant 2, because this is the only quadrant where the sine is positive and everything else is negative. Okay, so you can go ahead and draw. All right, so I drew a little coordinate plane here. That means my angle is in this quadrant somewhere. You can make your triangle, like I said, always with the x-axis, and this is your reference angle. Okay, it's going to be in this quadrant. All right, so it said the sine was 1/3. So if the sine is 1/3, that means opposite is 1 and hypotenuse is 3. Okay, now in order to find the rest of the functions, I need this missing side here. Now distance is always positive, but if you're talking about a coordinate plane and you're going here, this is your negative. This is where x is going negative. So when you're going to do cosine, you're going to do adjacent over hypotenuse, and that's why your cosine is, and everything else for that matter, is going to wind up being negative in this. Everything else is going to be negative but sine and its reciprocal, which is cosecant. All right, so what you need to do first is do the Pythagorean theorem, which I'll do right here. X squared plus 1 squared equals 3 squared, right? That's going to give you this missing leg. So I have x squared plus 1 equals 9. All right, so x squared equals 8. Right, so x would be positive and negative radical 8, which we need to simplify to, right? This is radical 4 times radical 2. So it's positive and negative 2 radical 2. And as we mentioned, since we're going here negative on the x-axis, we're going to be using a negative. It's going to be negative value. Okay? All right, so negative 2 radical 2. Okay, so if I wanted my cosine of this angle here, it's adjacent over hypotenuse. So it's going to be negative 2 radical 2 over 3. So negative 2 radical 2 over 3. Okay, this is equivalent to radical 8. Some of you may have left it as radical 8, but I like, we're going to simplify it here. Oh, I put an 8 here. Sorry, that should be a 3. Okay, so again, that's adjacent side over hypotenuse, which is 3. All right, and nothing can be simplified here, so you're going to leave it alone. Now my tangent is opposite over adjacent, so it's going to be 1 over negative radical 2 over 2, right? So it's going to be negative 1 over 2 radical 2, or 1 over negative 2 radical 2, same thing. All right, I still don't want this radical in the denominator, so we're going to multiply by radical 2 over radical 2. So what does that give me? It's negative radical 2 in my numerator over here. Radical times radical 2 is just 2, right? Times 2 is 4. And that's that. All right, now the rest are just reciprocals, right? So cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. Is this blurry? So if sine is 1 over 3, my cosecant is just 3, right? Secant is the reciprocal of cosine. So if cosine is this, secant is going to be my reciprocal, which is 3 over 2 radical 2, and it's negative, right? Again, we have to rationalize the denominator. So that gives me negative 3 radical 2 over radical 2 times radical 2 is 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, and then last, oh, this should say cotangent. I don't know why it says tangent. Cotangent of theta is the reciprocal of tangent. So it's going to be negative 4 over radical 2. Okay, and again, I need to simplify radical 2 over radical 2. And that gives me negative 4 radical 2 over 2, which can still be simplified, right? I can divide here, divide by 2, so the 2's cancel, and I get it, right? Negative 2 radical 2, which is negative radical 8 if you never simplified. All right, so let me know if you have any questions. I hope everybody's doing well and everybody's safe. Hang in there. This week's coming up is going to be spring break, so you guys could catch up on anything you need to catch up on or just rest. We deserve it, right? I'm here if you need me. Send me an email or a comment. Have a great day. Bye.